I will take you through the weekly maintenance check for the pneumatic penetrative stunner. Firstly, you need to have your toolkit handy, which consists of a number 8 or 5/16 Allen key, a set of circlip pliers, and some O-ring lube. Secondly, make sure the stunner is disconnected from the air supply. Thirdly, using the red shuttle valve, this will allow you to release any built-up pressure to allow you to carry out your maintenance safely. The first step you need to take is to remove the nose piece by the way of the 8mm or 5/16 Allen key. Just remove each of the screws in turn. Make sure that you check and inspect the bolts and the split washer. Make sure that the split washer is not too compressed and that the bolt hasn't got any stretching or any damage to the threads. These items are all able to be replaced as needed. We then have the nose piece assembly. We have a bearing and a circlip in front. This bearing needs to be checked to make sure it hasn't got any burrs, nicks or damage to it. It's easy to remove, it's just a matter of using a pair of circlips, pliers, gently squeezing the circlip and removing it. The circlip has a sharp edge on the top, the radius edge on the bottom. The sharp edge must be always to the top. This allows you to easily remove and replace it when you're doing your maintenance. The nose bearing, this should be in good condition. It shouldn't have any nicks or cuts or burrs on it. If it does, it needs to be replaced, and it should slide in and out very easily by just sliding in. Then it's a case of replacing the circlip. It's a matter of making sure that the circlip has got the sharp side up, placing it in position. Gently pushing it into place. We can now remove the shaft and the piston with the bumpers attached. To inspect the bumper, we need to remove the outer ring. The outer ring is there to protect the bumper, to stop it from going out of shape. We've got excessive wear marks and gouges in that surface there. You have splits and damage on this surface here. Those splits may continue through the segments and have the bumper open up. These are all indicators that the bumper should be replaced. To reassemble the bumper and the sleeve, the big circumference goes to the big end of the bumper. It's just a matter of sliding it on. We have 3 little holes here. These are little air evacuation holes for when the piston moves forward. They can become blocked with pieces of the bumper material. So it's a simple case of putting a small piece of wire in there and getting out any debris that's been left in those 3 little holes. To inspect the shaft, we're looking for gouges, any nicks and cuts on the end of the penetrator. The O-rings, it's a matter of just pinching them up and rolling the O-rings off. You now inspect those for any nicks, cuts, tear marks, any flat surfaces on the edge. The O-rings need to be round without any flat areas. It's a simple matter of rolling the O-rings back on very carefully and using a small amount of your O-ring lubrication just on the edge of it and smearing it right the way around the outside of the O-rings. You will need to check this bumper at the rear. That protects the valve inside as it returns. It gives it a cushioning effect. It's so that it doesn't damage anything inside. Then it's a case of very carefully sliding in the O-rings into the cylinder using a slight rotational movement. Now you can push the piston all the way to the back. You can then now fit the bumper into its position, check and make sure that the piston is going to hold in its position and not drop or sag inside. If the piston doesn't hold in its position, then it's a case of you may have to replace the O-rings because they have a flat spot that you can't detect by the eye, and it's a case of they are excessively worn and they will need to be replaced. So go through the procedure again of rolling them off, putting on the new ones, small amount of lubrication, and reinserting them again and rechecking that they will hold in any position. You can now replace the nose piece. Like so. Reinstalling the 4 screws. Once you've got the bolts seated, then it's a matter of diagonally tightening the bolts up the final quarter of a turn to get an even pressure on the nose assembly. The tool is now tight, ready for use. Make sure the nose piece is free. When I return the tool to its operating position, then the shaft doesn't fall out. As I've stated, this procedure should be carried out weekly to ensure that the stunning device operates effectively.